Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lygia here with your 6-month review of basically what is happening between July and December of 2026. And let's get right into this. I know that the energy from the astrological influences right now are hitting us in incredible ways. I'm feeling them too. And I realize that we're probably going to be seeing this for a little while into 2027. So what we feel right now, I believe, would be more emotionally driven. We may feel a bit more sensitive to certain things that are around our environment. So it could be different types of emotional energies that are coming from other people or from the collective in general. And in that case, we have to watch where our emotions are coming from. So think before you speak in this case, and just be yourself, but at the same time, and speaking from the truth of your heart here, but at the same time, just be a little bit more open to watching what you say before you say it, thinking before you speak. So in that case, let's look at July through December. And one thing I have to mention, I have a couple clarifiers, a couple clarifier cards that are going with with some of the months, anyways. So July, I've picked the cards, but I haven't actually looked at them, and I'm just gonna look at my. We're gonna be looking at my card deck, and then whenever we have some extras, I will show you which card deck it is from. So July is strength. And you know what? This is something that we have to realize that we do have. That strength is something that we are born with, but we seldom realize that we have until we go through challenges. And each challenge builds on that strength. So, what this is basically saying is to build on the strengths that humanity has. Um, you're seeing a lot of things going on in the world right now, and I don't have to say them. I know that it's basically not exactly the most wonderful things that are happening. But this builds strength for us. We need to realize that the strength that we have as humanity, as a collective, is to be drawn upon right now. And especially when it comes to discerning what is truth and what is not. We're seeing a lot of different ideas that are being posted or that is being thrown at us from different places like our leaders or any social medias or media in general. And sometimes that is something that I really caution you to believe. This might be the time to just turn it off and do your own thing. Hone that intuition to realize that what is actually coming to you and what's not. Hone your intuition to yourself, to your body, to your soul, so that you know what is going on within your body and what you need to do to make your body, mind, and spirit balanced. The strength that we have comes from within us. So that means that all we need to do is tap into that strength that, once again, going within, and realize that that strength is there. We've always had it. And it's just a matter of seeing that, you know what, if there are challenges that come up in our lives, and there will be, because I mean, life is challenging, there may or may not be an answer to every challenge until you actually reflect upon it. That builds the strength. It's when you reflect upon what the experience was that you had just had or have had in the past. That is where strength is drawn from, and we can move forward with that type of strength. So each and every one of us is going through this right now, each and every one. And I'm talking about every person being on this planet is going through a challenge in strength. And in this case, when you pull together, there's strength in numbers, if you know what I mean. That's basically where we come from. And you're going to be finding more individuals that'll be aligned with you with the strength that you already have. Plus, others that might come to you that could help to buoy your strength, to build that strength that you may or may not feel that you have. So be open to that. Be open to that time period in July. This is, I mean, July is a time, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, that we have summer. It is beautiful. It's usually beautiful, but we also have challenges. We have fires, wildfires that go on, and God help the people and the beings that are being caught up in this. Um, we have challenges with flooding as well too, and anything that comes at you, weather climate wise. At the same time, each and every one of us has that capability of drawing upon the strength not only of ourselves but of others to help us get through this. And that is where this is coming from. In July, there's a lot of things that are going on, and this is where strength is going to be a very big theme in this month. Okay. So, having said that, let's go to August. August has a clarifier card, and the clarifier card is coming from Rebecca Campbell's The Inner Temple. I'm drawing upon different card decks at this point too for just a clarifier card. So basically, this, from what my guides have told me, the card that comes in for August is also piggybacking as a clarifier card for September. So we're going to look at August together. That is self-constraint. So this is, you know what, I realized too. In August, we get the opportunity to really reevaluate what we like in our lives. If we are not coming from a place of passion, coming from a place of heart in anything that we're doing, whether it's with people or with our work or jobs or careers or desires or whatever the case is, we're holding ourselves back. This is saying, do not hold yourself back. Allow that self to come through. And once again, I was saying at the very beginning, kind of think before you speak. This is also kind of carrying through in August as well. Think before you allow certain energies to come into your own environment. That is actually using your own boundaries, your own personal boundaries to recognize what serves you and what does not. And that's another thing too about this. This is, do your passions. Make sure that you're evaluating where you are at this time. And if you are not feeling like you're in your passion, that you are doing things that basically everything that you're doing in your life is more enjoyable. So 80% enjoyable, 20% challenging. Then if you are at least 80% in that passion, then you're doing your passions, then you're following what the soul wants you to do. And that is holding back, that is not holding back yourself. You are allowing yourself to be. And one way or another, our soul is going to make us do that in the first place. So in retrospect, what is happening in August is a reevaluation, and we're getting that opportunity to be able to do that, to evaluate what our lives are at this point and what do we really want to see in our future. This is not just individually, this is collectively. What do we want to see? This is, so what I saw was in June was a turnaround point for humanity, that we were given the choice of a 180 turn to be able to see what we want in the future, and that would be the early future, 2027, as we kind of finish this year off. This is saying follow the passions that are within you. And the passion is that which you want in your lives, not only individually, but for the collective. That means, do you want peace? Do you want harmony? Do you want to see abundance for everyone and not just, for the a collective elite? This is something that we're having to face at this point, is to recognize that there's more to just the one person or just the wealthy person, the only wealthy person that you see, that you know around you, that 1% of the 1%. We are not part of that. We are part of this huge, abundant, beautiful world. And we have to tap into that. We have to recognize it. We have to realize that our lives are worth the desire that we want to have peace in the world, to have the wealth that and the abundance that we are entitled to. So that said, let go of holding on to yourself. Be yourself. That might be actually starting new projects too, or even just reevaluating some projects that you've put aside that you need to bring up. Like, for example, there's so many people out there that need to do their card decks, their own card decks, that need to do their own published works. And as I'm talking about self-published, just go to it. And if you need any help, call on me, send me a message, because I will help you to do that. Everybody needs to tap into that passion of themselves, the real soul passion of themselves at this time. Now, the clarifier for August is masculine, feminine. Okay, that makes total sense. This means balance. We need to have a balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. So in here, we're talking about, this is the sun, which is typically seen as a masculine energy. And we've got the moon as well. And in the center there, look at that. That is spirit. That is the universe. And that is what the universe thrives upon, is balance. So this means that basically we're looking at the opportunity to strike a balance in this world by not holding ourselves back, by being who you're meant to be. And that is just acknowledge the fact that you are feeling both feminine and masculine energies. It doesn't matter if you identify with a certain gender or non-gender or neutral gender. This is not about that. This is about the energies that we possess, and that is the masculine or the feminine energies. So this is a beautiful kind of a precursor, I guess, to September. So let's look at September. September is righteousness. This is coming back to our spiritual side. So not only are we not holding ourselves back in self-constraint in August, we're making sure that we are opening ourselves up to what we want to see in our lives and in the rest of this world. And yes, it goes big. Whatever you have within, as within, so without. So basically anything that you have on the inside, it needs to be processed. It needs to be recognized. It needs to be balanced, which is where we get to the masculine and feminine balance. And we're finding that. We're going to see more of that as well too. Having said that, then August also brings in energies of eclipses as well as retrogrades. We're going into, I believe it's Neptune retrograde, and Mercury retrograde as well too. So that gives us that time to contemplate, to reevaluate, like I was saying in August. Then when we look at September, by the time we come into the fall, we're recognizing that there's more to life than just living to work and working to live. This is saying that our spiritual sides, the sides of us that recognize that there is a higher power that is helping us, is going to come online even that much more. This also is yielding an upgrade. So what I see in the fall, when we talk about, so I guess it would fall and spring in the southern hemisphere, we're talking about a transition. So this is a transformational time period in the fall. I see this as not only is it recognizing our spirituality and righteousness, not only is it that, but it is also recognizing that we're going to be thrown a whole bunch of crap. I'm telling you, we're going to be thrown a whole bunch of crap because the powers that be are being backed into a corner because the truth is coming out. There's more and more truths, which is what we're going to see in the fall. And not only is that's not something that we're going to actually see from any type of media or what's being thrown at us from our leaders. It is basically what we know inside. I know 100% that this also talks about the fact that our DNA is coming online. It is upgrading. It is releasing and activating certain parts within us that really allows us to know truth. We don't need to have somebody else tell us the truth. We just have to go within and recognize it. In fact, sometimes we might have aha moments where that truth is going to come out. You're going to know things without knowing how you know. And September and October are going to be two of those very eye-opening months. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now we have October and we have passion. Okay, so there's a lot of us that what I'm also seeing here is the passion within us for seeing something different in the world, seeing something that will allow for more compassion and more kindness in this world might mean revolution. And this might mean revolutionary acts. So it could be that we see something start, or several things start in this world that is moving towards the the movement towards what we want in our lives, what we want to see as a reality. We do make our own reality, by the way. That is our energy. That is our superpower, that we are able to create. And when we are able to create, if we follow this passion, if we take and basically follow the passions that we have within us, then I can guarantee we're going to see the world that we want to see, the world that allows for balance, harmony, abundance, not one person, overtaking another, but basically recognizing that there is this is what runs through us, is passionate energy. And that passion is love. So once we are able to recognize the love within ourselves, that also means self-love, and that might mean some energies that we have to deal with during this summertime or winter time in the southern hemisphere. We might have to deal with this before we actually deal with the dark sides, before we actually see more passions coming out. So there's a clarifier for October, and that is star being healing codes. Important information: wounds are healed and recharging. So once again, we're talking about not only healing codes. This is basically through, sorry, didn't say that before, the activation of, there we go, activation of light by Kyle Gray. This is basically telling us about the transformation that is about to happen in the fall. So we're getting healing in many different ways, and that might mean dealing with some of the dark sides that we have, our own, I guess you could say, I won't say dark sides, I'd say shadow, because there's always the light and the dark. We have to process both. We have to accommodate and integrate both into our nervous system, and that's, maybe that means that we have to work through these things throughout the summer before we get to this. And also just recognizing we're getting these healing codes from the light. We're getting this from the gamma rays, the solar flares, the earth herself. Mother Earth is giving us healing as well too. So important information. Okay, so I find that this is kind of interesting too, because we're getting important information activated from our DNA. We're recognizing that our wounds are starting to heal once we do the shadow work, and we're recharging because of the fact that we're acknowledging that these things exist within us, both the light and the dark. When we deal with that, then karma is released. Karma is done. There's a lot of us that the only karma that we have is basically what we're making at this point. And then if you deal with it, then it's gone. Karma is finished. So look at this as an opportunity to move forward as a soul, but recognizing that you have help. So star being healing codes, that's also coming from the beings that exist. You might also find too, I mean, we just had the movie Disclosure Day come out, or whatever it was. And we're talking about star beings, or beings that are living amongst us. Duh. That's all I can say is, if we are the only people that live here, the only beings that live in this universe, or this dimension, and we believe that, that's sad. Sorry, very sad. So I mean, it's something, and there's so many different types of histories, that history and content in our lives that we have been lied to about. So this is the opportunity to see the truth, because it's from within us. Okay. Now let's go on to, what do I got here? November. November is wisdom. So in November, we're going to start to recognize all that we know. We're also going to be thrown wisdom from outer beings. I'm getting as well that that's something else that's kind of piggybacking on the star being healing codes. As we heal, we recognize the reasons why we went through certain things. We recognize the experiences that we've had, in the synchronicities between them. Now, not only is this coming out through our DNA, this is also being activated where where the astrological planets are as well too, is where the planets are. We have an interwoven um, energy from the planets that will activate the wisdom within us. we have we have a lot of wisdom from the many different incarnations that we've lived here with and from. So from this type of wisdom, we're going to recognize what is truth around us, what we need to do next, what steps are going to be taken next. And this kind of this goes right into the next few years as well. So this is a kind of a precursor to 2027, 8, 9, and 2030. We have a lot of wisdom that is beginning to arise. And with that, there is no way that falsity can exist. We will know the truth of everything, of our existence, of our evolution, of what's coming next, of what the history of the earth was, of how many civilizations we've been a part of. This is how deep we're going to be going, as well as getting some extra gifts along the way too. And when I say gifts, there are, and I fully believe this, that there are other civilizations that we have been a part of as souls that have existed way before we did. Like we're talking hundreds of thousands of years before. That's what I believe, and I can see that there's been falsities of the civilizational resets that have been happening, and we have had this crazy wisdom before. We've had a wisdom of teleportation, telekinesis, telepathy. We've had ways of opening portals, and these are things that we haven't actually been told that we can do. But I can guarantee that we're going to be starting to see certain gifts coming out because the DNA is activated. So I know it sounds a little bit strange, but at the same time, just know that you are way more than you think you are. So that's okay. That's in November. December also has a clarity card too. So December is devotion. And this is so this card, the premise behind this card is basically the fact that our soul knows what it needs to do and is basically on track with its life purpose. It means that we are, as a collective, devoted to ourselves and to changing the way that we are right now, changing this dimension, changing this plane of existence so that it is more formidable, I suppose, more desirable, because that again is a reality changer. So we are devoted to our individual life purposes as well as the collective purpose. And this is coming online. This is a perfect card to stop in, like, just to finish the year with, but also to recognize that we're moving into the next year with this, devoted to what we need to do, which means that a lot of us, there are many different star seeds, and we would call them light workers or light warriors that are coming online, that our purpose is going to become very clear as to what we need to do. And if we have to fight the resistance to this, then that's what we have to do. It's what it is. And it might be in different ways anyways. Every one of us does not necessarily have to be an activist, but we could do this in energetic ways anyways. Just, make sure to recognize your energy. Your energy is very, very potent. We have that capability of changing the reality around us from manifesting it. So be careful what you think of. Be careful how you speak. Be careful of your actions, because they do definitely speak louder than words in a lot of ways. So let's also see the clarifier, which I have. It's kind of an interesting little book here, or little card deck. I like this. This is my newest acquisition, the Dark Moon Oracle by Yasmin Boland. And you know that I've been doing the full moon and new moon readings before. I've kind of stopped because I realized that I'm evolving, so it's not quite as relevant at this point. I'll let other people do that for me. But this was something that came up because it's the shadow side, the dark side of the moon, and what comes up is limerence. Oof. So it's a very it's literally facing the difficulties, facing the troubled waters, and recognizing that you can get through this. So devotion will lead us through. That means that the purpose that you have will allow your ambition to be driven, and you will make it through troubling waters, which is coming. And I mean, we've gone through it a number of times. So basically, we have gone through so many different difficult waters, since I've been born, basically. So that said, this is the opportunity now to realize, and comes right back to July's message of strength, that you have the strength, and we will also be piggybacking on the strength of humanity, because we'll feel it. There's a sensitivity to that strength that is coming, that is being born, I suppose, to or reborn, that we'll feel into the next year. So the last card that I have is basically what this entire year is all about, 2026. So this is the culmination card that I have, and that is past life. You know what I see about this? That this will become a past life. 2026 will be a time to reflect upon, and any of the times before, any of the years prior to, it will be a time to reflect upon and just move forward, because we are going to make a lot of changes. We're going to make changes that we want to see in the new years to come. The other thing too is to recognize, especially looking at the entire reading, that our past lives, or our incarnations that we've had, have a definite we have lots of experiences to draw upon. We're going to be starting to see more and more of that. We're going to recognize that our experiences from many different incarnations, we can draw on that to make our lives much better. It just takes a moment of reflection. It takes that time period, and give yourself that self-care time. Give yourself the opportunity to sit with yourself for, even if it's just 10 minutes. That's all I ask, is like 5 to 10 minutes in a day, in a daily or more frequent manner for throughout the week, where you sit silent and just listen, and just feel what's around you. When you do that, you start to expand your energies. That's a lot of reasons. So I've been on the Galaxy Psychic Fairs for the spring tour, which is 3 months. So that's why I'm kind of I'm behind in a lot of things right now. So I'm just trying to catch up, and that's why this is so late. But also recognizing that um, I also do Reiki. I'm a master Reiki therapist, and so basically, if I go, I don't offer Reiki at the fairs or at events, because I find that my energy expands a lot. And when it does, I can see beings in my closed eye. I can see and feel other things, other dimensions, other uh, galactics. I can feel so many different beings around me, and I'm very sensitive to the energies in different planes of existence. So I don't like to be there in a huge capacity where I could be vulnerable in that sense. So that said, this is something that you can recognize as well too. Your energies are going to expand, whether you're feeling it or not. Because sometimes, you walk into a room and you feel that that the energies in there, there's residual energies. Well, recognize that there is residual energies in every place you go, and within every event that you're at. So hone your abilities to to be sensitive to those energies, to recognize where they're coming from. Are they coming from you, or are they coming from other places, or is it residual? And when you do that, use whatever methods to be able to cut the ties with those energies if they're unfavorable. If they're loving and caring and kind, expand on them. Allow them to be a part of you. That also will change you on the inside too, to recognize that if you are looking for if you're only looking to see something in your life that is going to give you money, the fast wealth, um the love that you're expecting, that you want, rather than you're expecting, um, then you're going to be living in a past. But if you do recognize your worth, if you recognize that you're entitled to these things, you are entitled to these things, you are abundant, you are wealthy already, you have strength and courage already, you are love already, then it means that you're you're going to live in the present. You're going to be part of the present, and at the present you can see the best route to go to, the best map, I suppose you could say, the path on the map. You can see every step, and it's clear and decisive and very easy to tread. So just know yourself, recognize that that things are about to change, things are about to shift. Especially, we've had a shift in June, we're going to have another shift in the fall and into the new year, and recognizing that our lives from before are not going to be the same, that we are looking at a new era, and that era, the experiences from that era are going to become more um, vibrant starting the next year. So that said, I hope this helps a little bit, that this aligns with you in some way. I intend on coming back in different ways, actually, on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Um, and I'm still in the works of doing that right now. So at the moment, I'm not really doing the full moon or new moon readings. If I do, it might be off the cuff and just doing it for the sake of it. But that said, yeah, I will see you in another video, and I really do hope that you have a wonderful next 6 months. Take time for self-care and enjoy. Be in that state of joy between now and the end of the year. All right. Bye for now.